It's Capital Region Sports Saturday with Brady Farkas, sponsored by Mohawk Honda.
Starting a few seconds early today on this Saturday, but it is too little too late for Jimmer Fredette and the Westchester Knicks. They fall yesterday. The Knicks eliminated in the NBA D-League semifinals. They lose to the Sioux Falls Skyforce. Jimmer scores 26, but Westchester's season comes to a close. Jimmer 10 of 17 shooting, 4 for 4 from downtown yesterday. So Fredette, the Glens Falls native, certainly did his part to try to keep the Westchester Knicks season going. Here's how it sounded. Jimmer Fredette, the final highlight tape of 2015-16.
Tries, feeds Fredette off the glass. That's good. As Fredette fakes from 28 feet, gets into the dotted line. His shot curls in. Fredette on the left wing takes it all the way in the lane, scoops it up. What a shot from Jimmer Fredette. Fredette in the open court. He will pull up 4-3. It's good for Jimmer Fredette to make it 57-51.
Sioux Falls won that game 112-105. The up and down season for Fredette comes to an end as Jimmer again scores 26 in the Westchester Knicks loss. Remember now, this is a season for Fredette that saw him get a cup of coffee with the New Orleans Pelicans at the beginning of the year, who he had been with last year, get drafted high in the D-League draft, signed with the Knicks, then he went to New Orleans, comes back to the Knicks, absolutely dominates. He finishes the year over 21 points a game. He was the D-League All-Star Game MVP. He finished second in the D-League three-point shootout. He scored a record high, a record number of points in that D-League All-Star Game, 35. No one has ever done that in the D-League All-Star Game. Fredette brought excitement to Westchester. He brought exposure to the D-League. And then remember, he earned that second cup of coffee in the NBA, the 10-day contract with the New York Knicks, in which he was just brutally underused. And that's not because I'm a Jimmer Fredette apologist. Okay, it's because you bring a guy up on a 10-day contract, give him a chance to play to see what he's got. Fredette played 5 minutes in 5 games, scored 7 points in those 5 minutes, so he did what he can do, and that's score the basketball. But he really didn't get a shake there from Kurt Rambis, and it doesn't just extend to Jimmer Fredette. I haven't agreed with Kurt Rambis's his handling of player personnel and substitution patterns ever since he got the job taking over Derek Fisher. I don't like the way he's used Jerrion Grant. He wouldn't start Jerrion Grant, another young guy, to see what he's really got in a different role. He benched Aaron Aflalo for seemingly no reason, and now Aflalo's probably going to walk, and maybe that was the point. Maybe they wanted him to opt out of his deal, save the Knicks $8 million, get rid of an aging player. So maybe that was the plan. Tick him off, make him leave, and here you go. But it seems like Rambis could have handled things a lot better, and it's scary and nerve-wracking to think that Kurt Rambis is the guy that Phil Jackson is giving a serious look to be the New York Knicks head coach beyond this season in a permanent role. So it's Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. We do it every Saturday. We do it 9 to 10 a.m. All your local sports, all your national sports with local tie-ins. Jimmer Fredette, the Westchester Knicks, their season come to an end last night. D-League semifinals. Great season for Jimmer. Again, he finishes over 21 points a game. Look, he shot at 45% from the field, 42% from three. Just a great year for Jimmer. And look, you have to, whether you think he's good, whether you think he's bad, you have to admire a guy who sticks with it. In any business, it doesn't matter if it's Jimmer Fredette in basketball or you and your business, okay? He's been dealt a tough hand in that he can't seem to get the one big break that he needs or find the right group of people in the NBA that believe in him and his skill set. And he keeps coming back for more. He keeps trying to develop his game. And all he does is produce wherever he is. And whether you think he's good or bad, or you're tired of the Jimmer love and the Jimmer hype train, that's fine. I understand that. But you have to at least respect a guy who handles his business the right way, and you never hear him complain. Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda. On the phone right now, we have Casey Jobe. Casey Jobe, the head baseball coach at SUNY Adirondack, a guy who I know well, a guy who I played against in college. I've played with in summer ball in the Albany Twilight League. I played against in the Albany Twilight League, a guy I've known here for, Case, it's been about, got to be 7 years at this point. And so, Case, you took over the program at SUNY Adirondack before last season. You inherited a program that hadn't had a lot of success. You're off to a fast start here in 2016. How have you worked to change the culture from year one and now into year two?
First of all, our area is, it's second to none. We're in a great location in New York. We played a really beautiful facility, Eastfield and Glens Falls. So, bringing in recruits here, it hasn't been too bad. We have a nice residence hall on campus. The campus itself's beautiful here. So we, it was a pretty easy sell, and we're starting to get some good guys and keeping some of the local talent here. So it's good.
Working at a 2-year school versus a 4-year school, has it been easier or harder to change that culture?
2-year school, turnover is very quick. So we can bring in a lot of freshmen who are going to play right away and have success at this level right away. So compared to the 4-year, it's a little easier to get some success quicker, for sure.
You guys played a challenging schedule down south to get ready for your up north, to get ready for your conference schedule, which you open up later today in just a few hours against Herkimer. They've been the class of the league for several years now. Pretty tough test here on opening weekend, huh?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think we're as prepared as we're ever going to be. So we've played 13 games so far. Like you said, the tough Southern schedule, couple D2 teams in Southern New York, Westchester and Orange County Community College. So, it's going to be tough, but the guys are excited for the challenge early.
It's Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. On the phone, Casey Jobe, head baseball coach, SUNY Adirondack. Casey, you're a young guy. You just graduated college only back in 2011. What are the pros and cons of being such a young head coach?
It's great relating to the guys. We can can joke around a little bit and be interested in some of the same things, but it really hasn't been too bad for me because we have a great group of guys who know that when we get in between the lines, when we get into the gym, that it's all business. So, and just, I guess, some of the tougher things at our level is just making sure our guys are focused academically and doing the right thing in school and being a complete student athlete.
I think when I coached at Hudson Valley, the thing I noticed right away is that junior college kids all have this stigma about them. Everyone thinks that a kid that goes to JUCO, they're all one way and they're all there for the exact same reason. And usually that reason is academics. But I found that is not the case, really. There's kids that are there for a lot of different reasons. How are the kids that you work with every day?
Yeah, so, that's great about us. We have some really good student athletes, some guys who've transferred in from 4-year schools, some guys who could have gone to almost Ivy League schools out of high school. It's not just the kids who struggled academically. They just wanted to come here. I think they wanted to be able to play right away, to kind of get a feel for college. So, yeah, it's not just because they struggled academically. It's more they might have just not have been ready for the 4-year school out of high school as far as mentally or physically as a baseball player. So,
Casey Jobe, SUNY Adirondack baseball coach, with us on Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. Casey, you and I played against each other when you were at Brockport and I was at Oswego. We played with each other in the Albany Twilight League, and you're still playing in the Twilight League. How important is it for you to still play, to still get out on the diamond?
Oh, man, I think that I'll be playing until I can't walk. Being a catcher, my knees, my hips, my back are hurting a little bit still. My arm was never really good, but it's getting a lot worse. I think I've become better as a hitter. But, it's important because as much as I love coaching, it's fun to hop in the cage with the guys or, if we're doing footwork with the catchers or ground balls with the infielders, I can kind of hop in and, show them how it can look a little bit.
I think that, when I played against you and have played with you, I think I know you to be an old school baseball guy with an appreciation of history and playing the game, quote, the right way. And I'm that way too. We've made a lot lately of Bryce Harper's comments about, we need to make baseball fun again, that it's gotten stale. Have you Do you see it that way? And have you changed your mindset at all now that you're coaching younger kids? Do you see the game needs more flair and things like that? Because I think that I'm starting to go the other way as well.
I guess it would draw some of the younger kids in. I think they like the bat flips and kind of watching their home runs or sitting back on their heels, feeling the ground ball with their backhand. But as far as our guys, we've had to switch some guys up who watch that stuff and watch Major League Baseball and how they play the game. And like you said, I like it the old way, hit a ground ball, run hard through first base, body a ball up, take it off the chest, hit a home run, put your head down and go. So I think from a fan's perspective, the new style, the Harper style is cool to watch, but as a coach, it can kind of drive you crazy a little bit.
Casey Jobe, SUNY Adirondack baseball coach, Troy High product, so local kid done well, and we love those stories here on Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda. Adirondack taking on Herkimer today, tomorrow, the first 4 games of the Mountain Valley Conference season. Case, best of luck, continued success, and we'll talk to you soon.
Brady, thanks for having me. You're the man.
I appreciate that, Casey. There he goes, Casey Jobe, head baseball coach, SUNY Adirondack. Really is doing a great job at turning that program around. Because again, if you don't know, I coached Hudson Valley for the last 2 years, so I had a chance to coach Casey, coach against Casey rather, last season, the year before he got there. I also coached Adirondack as well. The difference between the two programs is night and day from year to year, and then the team's continuing to get better and better. And his assessment is a little off. His arm is not bad. His arm was never bad. He's a guy like he's off the phone, right, guys? Okay, so I can freely say this without knowing that without him knowing I'm giving him too many compliments here. When I played with him in the Twilight League, I really enjoyed throwing to him because I really liked the way he caught. I really liked the way he called the game, the way he received the ball. And he's right. He's gotten better as a hitter as well as I've transitioned off of his team to playing for different teams in the Twilight League. He's a hard out to get when you're on the mound. So he's doing a great job at that program, and the guys up at SUNY Adirondack have a good young coach in the area around. So Casey Jobe, Adirondack baseball coach, with us here on Capital Region Sports Saturday. We thank him for doing that again. They're taking on Herkimer today. Not an easy test for your first conference games. That's the best team in the league, a team that gets players drafted. But we know Casey's going to have the guys ready. So Capital Region Sports Saturday brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number 1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. Did you know, as you watch the Masters this weekend, did you know that the Masters and Siena College have something in common? And really, it's ironic, it's hysterical. So the shade of green that Siena uses, Pantone 342, is the exact same green that is the color of the green jacket that you get from winning the Masters. So Siena, their main color, that green on the Saints logo, is the exact same color as the green jacket that Phil, Tiger, Jordan Spieth, that they've all worn. I can just picture Jimmy Patsos, our friend, the Siena men's basketball coach. I can just picture him in a green jacket. Now your Masters update: Jordan Spieth -4. He's in first place. Rory McIlroy -3. He's in second. Did you expect anything different, really, at the top of the leaderboard in the Masters? Spieth and then Rory. And look, I am by no means a giant golf fan. I'm really not, but I do enjoy the young influx of talent in the game. If I'm going to sit down and watch golf, and I'll watch the majors for sure. I'm going to watch today. I'm going to watch tomorrow in the Masters. But Spieth, McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, just Jason Day, these guys are young, energetic, and look, for a long time the sport needed Tiger Woods. And I don't know if it needs Tiger anymore. The specter of Tiger, the storyline of Tiger, it helps, especially the casual fan, maybe like me and maybe like you. But Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, and Ricky Fowler, those three are unbelievable. Jason Day. And again, look, the Masters always gets me excited because, again, a couple years ago, 2013, I think it was, some of those young stars, Bubba Watson, Hunter Mahan, Ben Crane, and Ricky Fowler, they came up with their boy band video called Golf Boys, and then they had Golf Boys 2.0. And anytime a major comes, I just get excited to just hear Golf Boys.
Button up. We going mayhem. We going mayhem. Let's leave it there like a mountain man. We going insane. We going Ben Crane.
That's just the best to me. That is just the absolute best to me. So Golf Boys and Golf Boys 2.0, the boy band PGA Tour. And look, that's what golf needs. We were just talking to Casey about baseball and about the Bryce Harpers of the world, and does the game need more flair? Does it need more passion? Look, golf and baseball are very much the same in the fact that it's head down, it's play the game, it's be quiet, it's a gentleman's game, same way tennis is. But you know what? Energy and personality, they're not always the worst thing. Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. Yankee fans want me to apologize. I'm not going to. Next.
It's Capital Region Sports Saturday with Brady Farkas, sponsored by Mohawk Honda.
Going flat bills, we're going flat bills. Ricky Fowler, flat bills. We're going button up, we're going button up. Bubba, button up.
There's always room for Golf Boys 2.0 on Capital Region Sports Saturday. And since it is Masters Week, more Golf Boys. Give me more Golf Boys 2.0.
Golf Boys, Maine.
Got some hot wings at Stuart.
The Yankee fans want me to apologize. Brady, you said Starlin Castro stinks. You said that was a terrible move to get him. Well, ha, ha, ha. He's hitting .438 through his first 4 games. Ha, ha, ha. He has 8 RBIs. He leads all of baseball. He's got 2 home runs. Ha, 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 Brady. No, I'm not going to apologize for saying that I don't love the Starlin Castro move. Okay? Starlin Castro has played 4 games. Okay? Do you hear me? Producers, everybody? 4. I'm holding up 4 games. There's 158 left. If on October 1st, Starlin Castro is hitting .330 with 25 homers, 94 RBIs, and an on-base percentage of .410, then I'll call him an MVP candidate, and I'll apologize and eat my words. He's played 4 games. Okay? They've been a great 4 games, but you know what? If it was 4 games in June, it was a 4-game hot streak in August, you wouldn't care about it. Okay? And here's what's going on with Starlin Castro, okay? Let's get it out there right now. Starlin Castro is young, okay? That is a good part of why the Yankees got him. He's 26 years old. He just turned 26. Starlin Castro is young. He's not overly expensive. He's under team control for a few more years. All of those are good. As far as the Yankees move to get younger, those are important things. That is the good side of Starlin Castro. The negative side, okay, attitude concerns in Chicago. Benched last year for a rookie, a 20-year-old rookie named Addison Russell. Benched, lost his job on a playoff team, got his job back at a new position, played shortstop, could not play shortstop anymore, could not play it well enough, moved to second base. Then the Cubs traded him. You don't trade controllable young assets if you think they're really the answer. If Theo Epstein doesn't think you're the answer, I'm going to be skeptical of you at least a little bit. Okay? Starlin Castro is hitting .438 through 4 games. You know what Starlin Castro's on base percentage is through 4 games? .438. Okay? He doesn't walk. He doesn't get hit. He doesn't get on base with all that much regularity unless he's getting hits, which, you know what? That .438 is going to regress to the mean very, very soon at some point. He's had 16 at-bats this year. Okay? His career batting average is .282, and that's good. Most of that damage, though, done early in his career. Last 3 years, .245, .292, .265. Okay? His on-base percentage last year, .296. The year he hit .245, his on-base percentage was .284. He doesn't walk. He doesn't get on base. So you know what? He's not going to hit .438 all year. If he hit .260, but his on-base percentage was .395, you know what? I wouldn't be saying this stuff. But he doesn't get on base with enough regularity. He also, for being a 26-year-old middle infielder, you know what else he doesn't do? Run. The Yankees want to get younger. The Yankees want to make a conscious effort to play a little more small ball and not have to wait for the 3-run homer. Well, Starlin Castro, guess what? He stole 5 bases last year. He stole 4 the year before that. He stole 9 the year before that. You know what he stole? His first 3 years in the league, 10, 22, and 25. And since then, 9, 4, and 5. He doesn't run anymore. He doesn't run well anymore, and the Yankees don't run. So I'm sorry that I'm not looking at a 16 at-bat sample size and saying, well, Starlin Castro is your surefire American League second baseman in the All-Star game. He's not. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say he's a surefire MVP candidate. Robinson Cano for the Mariners has 4 home runs in his first 4 games, and I don't see any Yankee fans calling in to say, oh, man, we never should have gotten rid of Cano. Look at what he's doing. He is unbelievable. We never should have gotten rid of him. His first 4 games are, oh, my, we made a huge mistake. No, you know what you're saying? That's 4 games. Well, show me at 162. But when it fits the narrative for a Yankee fan to say Starlin Castro is so great, it's easy to say that. Starlin Castro has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential. He did hit 307 in 2011 as a 21-year-old. He did. He has a good pedigree. Has almost 1,000 hits as a 26-year-old, as a just turned 26-year-old. He's got a lot of potential. This could blow up in my face. It could. But right now, I'm cautioning you against the 4-game sample size. I mean, look at other players who have had huge Aprils that you've never heard of again. Chris Shelton for the Tigers back in like 2005. We'll have to get the producers on to figure out the exact year. He hit like 14 home runs in April alone. Chris Shelton for the Tigers. You heard of him since? No. Shin-Soo Choo last year for the Rangers is an all-star player. He went 5 for 51 in April. 5 for 51. Was hitting under 100. End of the year, hitting over 270. Did anyone say Shin-Soo Choo stinks because of what his April was? No, you look at where he was at the end of the year. So I am not going to say Starlin Castro is the answer for the Yanks. He's the answer for the Yanks at second base. He's better than what they had. He's better than Ref Snyder, better than Ackley. But I'm not saying he's an MVP candidate. It's Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your #1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. Cool local news yesterday. Jason Kasdorf, who was the RPI hockey goaltender for the past 4 years, he played in his first NHL game last night, played with the Buffalo Sabres. It was a 4-1 loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Kasdorf, again, allowed the 4 goals, had 26 saves, so stopped 26 out of 30. After the game, he said, I'm really glad that I was able to get this game just because now I know what I can work on and what I'm all right at, and just from there into the summer, I think it's a good building block for me. Also said that the speed of the game, as anytime you transition levels, the speed of the game is something that you need to get used to. And Kasdorf said that and said that the releases were quicker than he had been used to in college. He goes, I think the biggest thing is continuing to get used to the speed of the shots, the speed of the release. I thought there were a couple that I normally have, and I think if I would have been a little bit quicker, there's 2 goals I think I should have had back. So it's a good opportunity, though, for Kasdorf to get in the lineup in Buffalo. Again, right out of RPI, 4 weeks of practice time, 4 weeks since the Engineers season was done, since they were eliminated in the ECAC playoffs. Just 4 weeks, and now starting in the NHL. So pretty cool for the local college product, Jason Kasdorf. Local high school products in professional baseball, where are they starting their seasons? Well, Tommy Canley, Shaker High School graduate who's with the Chicago White Sox, he is starting in AAA. Charlotte, remember, he was with the Rockies the last 2 years, made the opening day roster 2 years ago, served some time as the closer at Coors Field. Last season, he is in AAA for the Chicago White Sox. Jamie Schultz, Maple Hill graduate. He's in AAA for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's with the Durham Bulls, expects to be in the starting rotation. Remember, he led the Southern League in strikeouts. So AA just a season ago, 168 in 135 innings. He's a flamethrower, 94, 97 miles an hour with a great curveball. Biggest thing for him is just that control. Also had 90 walks in those 135 innings. So can he be efficient with his pitch count? Can he throw enough strikes to give you 6-7 innings? Or is it going to be basically, when you think about Jamie Schultz, think about Nathan Eovaldi. At any given time, he can strike out 12, but could walk 6, and then you're out in the 5th inning. That's what Jamie Schultz is battling right now. If he can limit the walks and for some degree limit the strikeouts to go deeper into the game, he's going to be a guy who you're going to see in Tampa. Jeff Hoffman, Shaker High School graduate, he's in AAA for the Colorado Rockies as well. Double-A guys, J.P. Sportman from LaSalle. He playing with the Midland Rockhounds in the Oakland A's system. Matt Gage from Broad Alban Perth, also a Siena product. He is playing Double-A. The Richmond Flying Squirrels for the San Francisco Giants. And then Justin Brantley, the Hudson product, the Siena product, playing for the Double-A affiliate of the Cleveland Indians, the Akron Rubber Ducks. Don't you just love the minor league names? The Akron Rubber Ducks, the Chattanooga Lookouts, the Inland Empire 66ers, Midland Rockhounds. Just great names all around minor league baseball. It's Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. And Mohawk Honda, look, you already know they try to go out of their way to please you because they try to provide you the most impeccable customer service, because you can have all the amenities, all the specials, all the great deals, but if you don't have great personal customer service, then what do you really have as a business? And at Mohawk Honda, they make that a priority. Look, they're open extended hours in all their departments to better service you. You can shop online 24/7 at MohawkHonda.com, where you can go in and go in person. It's just a humongous lot. Nick Bonarigo and his staff there, ultra friendly. They'll take care of you. It's a huge lot for you to shop on again. Or you can go online 24/7 at MohawkHonda.com. They've got new vehicles. They've got pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned vehicles. You can ask Tiffany, Katie, V-Day about their Mohawk Exchange program, which you can exchange your vehicle for the same or lower payment with no money down. Just a great opportunity at Mohawk Honda. So shop their convenient Route 50 in Glenville location, because at Mohawk Honda, you want to be in the number one automotive family in the Capital Region, and you know if you join Mohawk Honda, they'll go out of their way to please you. Plattsburgh State women's hockey captures its third consecutive national championship. Albany native, Scotticoke native, Melissa Sheeran led the team in points, led them to that third straight title. Like the Yukon women and all the talk about their dominance being bad for the sport, is your dominance bad for women's hockey? Melissa Sheeran joins us next.
It's Capital Region Sports Saturday with Brady Farkas, sponsored by Mohawk Honda.
Yes, we are back and on the phone right now with Scotticoke native and Plattsburgh State women's hockey star Melissa Sheeran. Melissa, your Cardinals just won their third consecutive national championship. You just finished your sophomore year, so it's your second straight title. What was that run like to a back-to-back-to-back title run for Plattsburgh?
Honestly, it was amazing. Like I can't even put it into words. No feelings better than the feeling that, helping your team win a second consecutive national championship is amazing.
You were the leading scorer on the team this season in your sophomore year. How were you able to put together such a productive year? Because you had a pretty darn good year as a freshman the year before. You scored the game winner in the national championship as a freshman.
Honestly, I have to throw that to my teammates. I can't score if they don't pass me the puck. So, honestly, I have a really good line, really good group of girls, behind me. So.
I was talking to a couple people in the D3 women's ice hockey world, and they said you are just an absolute star. And they wanted me to ask you, actually. I had a write-in question when I said I was doing this interview. How did you end up at Plattsburgh? Did you have other offers? Did you have Division I offers that you turned down?
Well, yeah, I had other offers, obviously, but I thought that Plattsburgh was the best fit for me. I love Coach Cole. He's like a second dad to me, so... yes, I had other offers, but I think that Plattsburgh was the best fit for me to be, successful, and I wanted to make a difference, and I thought that I had the best chance of doing that at Plattsburgh.
Melissa Sheeran, Scotticoke native, now two-time national champion hockey player at Plattsburgh State. Melissa, we've been making a lot of the Connecticut women's basketball team over the last week. They just won their fourth straight title. They've been dominant. You guys have now won 3 straight titles. People say that UConn is bad for the sport. I know you're on the winning side of it, so you would never see it that way. How do you respond to people who do say that this kind of dominance makes the sport boring?
Winning is never boring, obviously, but I think that, it's a good group. We have a good group of girls, and, it's not like we're beating teams 8-0 every night. I think that it's a competitive sport, and to come out on top often is obviously a good thing. But I think that it pushes other teams to want to beat us. Like we get every team's best game. So at the end of the day, I think that it's a sport, it's a competition. So someone's got to win. And fortunate for me, we've been on the winning side of that.
How has the rest of the competition caught up to you guys? Obviously, you guys are still dominant, winning national championships, but there are a lot of worthy contenders out there, whether it be Norwich or Elmira or Oswego or some of the teams out west. There are a lot of teams that are coming for you. How's the competition as a whole?
Honestly, the competition, we're going to get every team's best game because, obviously we've done pretty well for ourselves, and so, the competition is tough. It is. It's not easy. We don't go out there thinking we're going to win. We go out there and we work our butt off, and, if we win, we win, and thank God we come out on the winning side of that most of the time.
One of the things I've always wondered about hockey, and I guess I'll just point it to my hockey naivete, is that in the off-season, what is an off-season like for a hockey player? Because I played baseball at Oswego, so when the season was over, I just came home and I played summer baseball, and it was baseball season, and it was summer, and it made perfect sense. What do you do in the off-season to get ready for the upcoming hockey season? Because you need someone to play with most of the time, and that's hard to do, I imagine.
Actually, surprisingly, there's a lot of things you can do on your own to prepare for the season, and I work all summer with little kids at Ron Kuehl, and I owe him a lot. He owns a little rink up in Clifton Park, and I've been training with him since I was a little kid, summer in, summer out. There's pretty much no off season. I mean, obviously there's off season, but we're always training, we're always working out, lifting, doing sprints on and off the ice. So, I mean, yeah, there's no summer leagues really, but we're always practicing, always on the ice, and so it's sort of a lifestyle. It doesn't really end.
Melissa Sheeran, Plattsburgh State hockey player, Schaghticoke native, with us 104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. Helped Plattsburgh win their third straight national championship, her second. You mentioned that you work up in Clifton Park. You're from Schaghticoke, but you actually only went to school at Hoosick Valley for 1 year before transferring out to prep school, and that's something that a lot of hockey players do. Was that a hard decision for you to leave family and friends behind to chase the hockey dream?
To be honest, that was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, in my entire life. Going away at such a young age, it's not easy by any means, and I honestly have a lot of respect for people that, have done it in the past and can do that. It's not easy going away from your parents, the people you care about. They're not there to baby you. But honestly, Millbrook was an amazing experience, and I would not be here without the people that helped me through that experience. I mean, my head coach at Millbrook passed away this past October. December. And, that was definitely hard for me. And, he meant a lot to me. He was like a second dad to me. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a hard transition. I miss my family and friends, but at the end of the day, they knew that I was doing something that I needed to do to get to where I am today. And, my friends stuck by me, thank God. I still have all my friends from high school who I love very much. Hopefully they listen to this. But, yeah, it was a tough decision, but my family and friends stuck by me, and that was the most important thing.
Melissa Sheeran, Plattsburgh State women's ice hockey player, with us on Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. You're a back-to-back national champion. Your program's got 3 straight championships. We transitioned back to the Albany area, so you're going to come home from Plattsburgh in May. What's the one thing that you're excited to come back to whenever you come back home to the Capital Region, back to Schaghticoke?
Honestly, probably seeing my friends, my family, and just getting back into it. I have 2 more years left. Want to make the best of those 2 years.
Melissa, we appreciate the time. Best of luck. Congratulations. And, hey, I know the season just ended, but I'll start the talk for you. Hopefully there's a 3-peat for you and a 4-peat for the Cardinals next year.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too, Melissa Sheeran. There she goes. Look, she's right. You can't, this kind of dominance, it's not bad for any sport. You know what? I understand that you as an opponent or you as a consumer, Plattsburgh again, UConn again, the Patriots again, Alabama football again. I understand that side of it. But you know what? You're talking about it. Okay? You're talking about women's Division III ice hockey because of Plattsburgh State and the fact that they've won 3 consecutive titles. You're talking about women's basketball because of the fact that they have won 4 straight national titles. And you know what? If they don't win it next year, you'll be talking about that because of just the aura of UConn and what they've meant to the sport. It can only be a positive. Were the Magic Johnson-led Lakers bad for basketball? Were the Bill Russell Celtics? Were the Larry Bird Celtics? All we do is revere the Michael Jordan dynasty, the six championships that Jordan has. Now, I know it was 3-3, 2 separate three-peats, but does anyone talk bad about that? No, they don't. Does anyone talk bad about the John Wooden-led UCLA teams? No. This kind of dominance is good. Melissa Sheeran, Capital Region native from Schaghticoke, leading scorer on that Plattsburgh team. Congratulations to them on their third straight championship. You know, it's weird. You know you're getting far removed from college when you start to congratulate your rivals. Because last week, we had on Austin Clock from Cortland, who's a Cortland baseball player, and they were my biggest rival at Oswego. And here I am, just talking to Austin, and it's great to talk about how great Cortland is, and now congratulating Plattsburgh players on winning championships that Oswego didn't win, and it's just over it. I'm officially getting old. 26 years old is officially getting old. Capital Region Sports Saturday brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region. Mets, rough news yesterday. So Jacob deGrom, right, was cruising through 6 innings against the Phillies, had thrown just 76 pitches, allowed just 2 runs. He was dominant against the Phils. He took himself out of the game with some tightness in his lat, and that is worrisome. That is worrisome for the Mets. DeGrom says he hopes it's just because it was cold. The Mets had some long innings on offense, so he was sitting down. He says hopefully it's just from sitting down one too many times in the cold weather, not being able to get loose. But the Mets need to do their best and due diligence here. This is April. They need DeGrom in September. They need him in October. They don't need him in April, okay? They need to be smart with this. If you remember last year, Steven Matz, they allowed him to pitch with tightness in his lat. And, oh, by the way, he missed 2 months of the season when he tore the lat muscle. Yankee fans, Michael Pineda missed more than 3 months with a lat strain that led to problems in his back and shoulder. That from the New York Daily News article. The Mets need to be very, very cautious with Jacob deGrom. Remember, he had a back issue in spring training a month ago. They think it's not related, but it could be related. So you got to do your due diligence to find out exactly what is up with your rookie of the year from 2 years ago and your ace last year. Remember, he threw 216 innings last season, a career high. deGrom is a guy we were worried about his velocity in the spring. It didn't get better yesterday, 91, 93. I would be very, very concerned. Breaking news in the Capital Region Sports Saturday, John Rothstein, CBS Sports college basketball reporter, has said now on Twitter, Siena will travel to Kansas next year. So the Siena Saints and Jimmy Patsos will go to Allen Fieldhouse to play the Jayhawks. So that'll be an unbelievable opportunity for Jimmy Patsos and the Saints. Remember, this past year they played Duke. They played Wisconsin, 2 teams from last year's, or now 2 years ago's national championship. So the Saints really working to improve even further that non-conference schedule and develop the players within their program. So Siena will head to Kansas next season. Basketball Hall of Fame finalized their inductees this season. Big names: Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson, Yao Ming, Cheryl Swoops. It's a great class. But for me, Allen Iverson is the guy. And Allen Iverson, look, I am a diehard Seattle sports fan. Diehard everything. And I like players from other teams. No doubt about it. I like just good athletes in general. I appreciate good athleticism and what guys do on the court or on the fields of play. Allen Iverson, for me, pound for pound, is my favorite non-Seattle athlete of all time, okay? I know he had his issues off the court. I know that he's not necessarily the world's greatest role model, but the way he played the game, to be 5'10", to be 5'11", to be tough, to be gritty, to go in amongst the trees, to do the things he could do athletically, Allen Iverson was just an exciting player to watch. And look, if you're between the ages of 24 and 30, chances are you loved watching Allen Iverson play too, because you know what? His first great highlight clip was him crossing up Michael Jordan as a rookie, and he did cross him up. You go find it on YouTube. Then in 2001, him stepping over now Cavaliers head coach Tyronn Lue with a 3 in the corner in the NBA Finals. Look, Iverson played the game with a confidence. He played it with a swagger. He played it with a flair, and not everyone likes that. So Allen Iverson had a lot of detractors. And I understand that I can separate his ability to be a role model from his ability to be a great basketball player. he was a great basketball player. And you know what? His body deteriorated in his early 30s because he played so hard. He played so hard for so long. He was so good. His former college coach at Georgetown, John Thompson, on Allen Iverson making the Hall of Fame.
For somebody his size and the experiences which he's encountered in life, I think it's an extraordinary thing for him to put himself in a position where he's getting one of the highest honors in his profession. And guys who have played against him respect his competitiveness and his ability. So if it doesn't mean much to him, he's got to be numb.
It definitely does mean a lot to him. Everyone knows how competitive Iverson was, how competitive Iverson is. And just had a great career for the 76ers and then the Nuggets and then a couple other teams that weren't so glamorous at the end of his career. He spent some time in Detroit. He spent some time in Memphis. He went back to Philly. But really, his run with the 76ers and his run with the Nuggets show just how good he was. Allen Iverson is certainly one of the best players of the last 20 years. He came up in 95, 96, somewhere in that range, the same time as Kobe Bryant did. Okay? Allen Iverson was that good. He was on par with the great point guards, great scoring guards in the NBA, multiple time scoring champion, just a great player. So Allen Iverson, a shout out to him. Capital Region Sports Saturday brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your number one volume dealer in the Capital Region, where they have over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles available to select from, open extended hours in all their departments to better service you. Shop over 10 acres of savings opportunities or go online 24/7 at MohawkHonda.com, and they'll provide you the lowest, no-hassle prices to better suit your budget. A business can have everything. Like I told you earlier, they can have everything. But if you don't have great customer service, then you don't have anything. Mohawk Honda makes that a priority, and they make it a priority to treat their customers like a family. The Mohawk Exchange Specialist can assist you in upgrading your current vehicle to a newer one with no money down for the same or lower payment. Just ask Tiffany, Katie, V-Day to see just how easy it is to exchange your vehicle for the same or lower payment. If new isn't for you, then they inventory over 300 of the highest quality pre-owned vehicles, all at one low below market value, no hassle price. Being number one isn't easy, but at Mohawk Honda, they treat their customers with respect and have been doing it for almost 100 years, 4 generations of the Heritage family proudly serving the Capital Region. Shop the convenient Route 50 and Glenville location to join the number one automotive family at Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you. So you're a high school basketball player who has accomplished everything already. You've won every award. What more can be done for you? Shen basketball coach Tony DeZikas, what did he do for Kevin Herter? Because he's got everything. He didn't have this. Next.
It's Capital Region Sports Saturday with Brady Farkas, sponsored by Mohawk Honda.
So Jerry West, logo of the NBA, Michael Jordan, symbol of Nike and the Jumpman and the Jordan brand. And now Kevin Herter going to be the symbol of the Shen basketball program. On the phone with us right now to talk about it is Tony DeZikas, head basketball coach at Shen. Coach, so you decided to make Kevin Herter's silhouette the logo of your program. How did that idea come about?
Well, you know what, Brady? I'm sitting at my desk, kind of like I'm sitting at it right now, and getting ready for the banquet, which we had Tuesday. Looking at all the awards, the usual stuff that we do, and Kevin obviously has been a huge part of our program since he was in 9th grade, and he's pretty much gotten those awards for the last 2, some of them 3 years. And I was just sitting there saying, I'm going to make these same plaques up again for him. And somehow it just came to me, and I was kidding around. I was kidding around with his father. I was joking with you earlier that I'm good for a pretty good idea once every 5 years. So I'm good until about 2021 right now. So it just, kind of popped in my head that the whole Jerry West, the logo thing. And we had that terrific picture of him playing when we played, I believe it was Columbia at Shen, and the photographer caught Kevin with a great dunk. They were right underneath the basket. A lot of people have seen the picture now. And I thought, let's take that picture and kind of do what the NBA did with Jerry West. And it just came out really, really well. And I was really happy to be able to do it for him. He certainly deserves it. And I couldn't be happier with the recognition that it's getting for Kevin.
how much apparel is this going to be on moving forward? Is this logo going to be on every piece of Shen basketball clothing, the basketballs themselves, the gym floor? Where are we going with this?
Well, those decisions are Mr. Collins as far as anything in the school. He does a great job of promoting athletics in the school, and he'll make the right decision on all that. As far as apparel, as you know, ever since the days when you were playing for me, we start the year off getting T-shirts for every kid who made one of the 3 teams, freshman, JV, varsity. We always do T-shirts for our banquet. Those will have this logo. As I announced at the banquet, that logo will be on our apparel for those T-shirts either until I retire, which I would assume is about 9 or 10 years, or if a better player comes along. So I'm figuring either way I'm a winner if that happens, when and if that happens. So, hopefully for years and years to come, that will be our logo.
Tony DeZiekis, head basketball coach at Shenendehowa, with us on Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your #1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. Coach, Kevin Herter becomes the logo. I have to ask, legally, copyright issues? Did you have to get permission from people? How does this even work? I'm still fascinated.
You know what, Brady? I don't think that far ahead. So I had the inspiration from the Jerry West NBA logo. I sent that to DC Sports. Bob Brown is a good friend of mine. I've been working with him for a long time since I started here at Shen. Sent that to DC Sports. They went to their art department, and they took the picture that I sent to them of Kevin, that dunk of Kevin's, and we just kind of talked it through, and that was the final design. And I think the Shen on the right side, the green Shen on the black side of the design is very subtle, was the final touch.
Coach, you guys lost in the regional, or in the state Final Four, rather, to Aquinas. It was a tight game, and we talk a lot about how you guys handle success, but also how you handle failure. You guys missed some free throws late, and I don't think that cost you the game. I think, I'm one of these guys who believes the game is 32 minutes long. It doesn't come down to 4 free throws in the last 45 seconds or whatever. But how do you go forward from that loss? How do you learn from it? How do you get better going to next year?
Well, we just do what we do. We got guys already in the gym. We got kids always working. There's such a passion around here to get better. The players nowadays, it's transformed so much. I remember not too long ago that we didn't even think about getting in the gym until after the banquet. And now kids would beat down my door if I ever tried to not open the gym before the banquet. So it's a good problem to have. It's athletics, Brady. I mean, you're going to have tremendous fortune. You're going to have great opportunities, and sometimes it's going to feel wonderful, and then other times you're going to get dealt a hand that's going to hurt a lot. But if you're going to be in this business of athletics, if you're going to be a player, if you're going to be a coach, you're going to have to be fairly tough about it and learn how to get over things real fast. And move on, learn from it, and forge forward. And you saw that. I mean, you see how quickly that can shift. You saw that national championship game. Carolina was jumping up and down, celebrating, hugging each other. 4 seconds later, they had their face in their jerseys, and it was Villanova jumping up and down, hugging each other. So it's just this the nature of athletics.
Tony DeZiekis, Shen boys basketball coach, with us, Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your #1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. Coach, I tell you, enjoy the off season, but I know there really isn't an off season for you guys up at Shen. So enjoy the end of your school teaching year. Enjoy the summer. I'm sure it'll be filled with a lot of open gyms.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ray. Always great talking to you.
Great to talk to Tony DeZiekis as well. Capital Region Sports Saturday, brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your #1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. Valley Cats released their promotional schedule for 2016. Find it online, 1045theteen.com. The highlight of that promotional schedule is Dallas Keuchel Bobblehead Day, July 18th. It's part of the Capital Region Baseball Heritage Night that the Valley Cats do every single year. So now you can go add to the collection. Hunter Pence, Ben Zobrist, Mariano Rivera, Albany Colony Yankees, Bernie Williams, Albany Colony Yankees, Derek Jeter, Albany Colony Yankees. You can go and get the Dallas Keuchel bobblehead as well. There's also going to be an Uncle Sam bobblehead this year. 50-cent hot dog night is back. Lots of great promotions the Valley Cats are doing. Again, that full schedule is online, 1045theteam.com. Capital Region Sports Saturday brought to you by Mohawk Honda, your #1 volume dealer in the Capital Region. We'll do it again next week, 9 to 10 a.m. See you next week, 1045 The Team.
We are your home for New York sports.